Hi, everybody. Welcome and welcome to Pixie, the Soul Reader. I'm so glad you're able to join us today, Pixie.
You're welcome.
I just need to open. Sorry, just need to open the queue for questions. Paul, I already have your question. Paul was the first one in here like half an hour ago.
Must be something important.
It's actually a really interesting question.
Mm.
And I'm going to set the limit today to 10 questions plus Paul, so that'll be 11 altogether.
Okay.
So hi, Aaron. And Aaron, put your question in because I owe you and Rossi answers, or we owe you and Rossi answers, but me too. Hi, Carl. Hi, Sudabe. Let's see who else came in that I missed. Diane. Hi, Diane.
Did we miss someone last time?
I did. That was me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know
I missed.
it's easy to do, and
It's very easy, even with Nightbot. It's easy to do, and I missed Rossi and Aaron O'Nugent. So Aaron's here, so definitely her question is. And hi, Joyful Journey. And Sudabe, yes, questions are open now. Just type join and I forgot to start that banner. Sorry.
That's all right. We have time.
There we go. Well, we have all the time there is, right?
Yep.
There you go, Sudabe. You're number one.
Ooh.
Hi, Sue. Hi, Sue Toffee's here.
Sue Toffee, I see her. Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to give you all a little update on Wanda. You can see her she's not happy. Her last remaining tail feather, which she just banged into my finger and it hurts. So she bites me. Yeah. Well, I'm kind of used to it. So
I know. I've been.
You should see my arms. They're covered in bird bite scars.
Bless you.
She's doing better than she was.
Yeah.
She has a follow-up visit at the vet tomorrow morning. She's been unhappy about taking her medications, but she's been doing it. And I have to weigh her every day. Yeah. The day I got her from the vet, she weighed that morning at the vet. They had weighed her at 213 grams. And then the next day I weighed her, she'd lost 4 grams. She was down to 209. But since then, she's been at 213 grams. So, yeah, but it's a battle. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's been a battle every day.
Sounds like you need to help her at night.
Well, she, I don't blame her because it's a digital kitchen scale and she doesn't have good footing on it.
Nope.
And the thing, like, it's not wobbly, okay, but it's like a smooth surface, so she hasn't got good footing on. Well, whatever. Anyway, long story short, and
Miss Wanda,
yeah. Oh, hi, Jules. Welcome. Nice to see you.
And then I see Jules.
Lightworkers here. Oh, awesome.
Sue Toffee.
We still have room in the queue. Hi, Rooted Willow. There's still room in the queue. The last person to join was number 6. Okay. Hi, T-Lynn. And Paul, don't worry. I have your question already. It's already starred, and you'll get your answer, and you'll get an answer. What was that? Is there a? Did I live in Ohio? Okay, well, that's interesting. Okay, all right. So anyway, so Wanda's doing better. She's getting meds all the time, and we'll find out what the
Paul Freed. I don't remember that
Yeah.
name. Hi, Paul.
We'll find out what the whole thing is tomorrow. We'll have more information tomorrow, I guess is how to say it. So anyway, yeah, I'm still really kind of worried about how
Yeah.
things are going, because she's not going to get better, Paul. She's going to be handicapped for the rest of her life. She has neurological damage. We don't know what from. And so she's going to be, she's not as sick as she was, but she's certainly not well. She got a wing trim at the vet. I got to show you guys this. It was a spa day. She got her feathers trimmed.
Oh, wow.
so that she has limited.
Maybe Doyle.
She can't. Hi, V. Doyle. She can't.
Fly too much.
Yeah, she can't. She can glide down from my shoulder, like flap herself down to a safe place, but she can't just fling herself off and fly into the wall,
right,
anymore. Thank goodness. And so that limits her capacity to injure herself. And I have to redo her cage with safer perches. It's a long story, but and raise the floor of her cage. I went to Home Depot and got some corrugated plastic, that you use for signs.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tie that, make a new floor like higher up, so if she falls off, she doesn't have as far to fall. And
yeah.
I tried putting her in an old budgie cage that I had, but she absolutely no. That was a big fat loud no with beak accompaniment.
Is it pronounced Nivra?
Hi, Nivra, and Lacey Gray. Oh, Sudabez had parrots, so she knows.
Yeah, Rooted Willow.
Yeah.
Paul Freed. Yeah.
Okay, Nivra, you need to type the question
after.
You need to type your question with exclamation mark, join, no space between those, and then space, and then your question. Okay. Ow. Okay, you can let go of my finger. She just really needs to hold.
I think she just really feels kind of, trying to get used to the medication. She feels a little bit.
Yeah, she's a little wonky, all right. But overall, I mean, she seems happier. She seems
she seems much better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Energy-wise.
Yeah, energy-wise, she's feeling a lot better. Well, to me anyway, she feels better than she did. And she's got some spunk. She's fighting me every morning.
Hi, Melinda.
For the weigh-in, she's fighting me. So
yeah.
Okay.
She's we're gonna, she needs that time to adjust. I mean, it's like you and I taking a medication, it's like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah, and some of this, one of the medications is binds to toxic metals, and so that they can be excreted. I believe it's called chelation, not the medication. The medication is DMSA. I don't know the chemical name, but I believe that the therapy is called chelation.
Yes.
So if she has any toxic metals, we don't know yet because the tests haven't come back.
Right, so, but they bind to it.
Yeah. So
they should do it for people too. They do it by IV, I believe.
I don't know. I haven't looked. I haven't looked into
it. They go in and they hook up an IV. It's the same thing. They put something in the IV and it's supposed to go through and take out all the heavy metals and some other stuff too.
Cool. So I see a question that people didn't get acknowledged. Well, I did see acknowledgments that the question was longer than 100 characters. So if it's more than 100 characters, Nightbot won't take it. Okay. The other thing that happens is that if two people are typing their question at the same time, Nightbot will take one and often miss the other. Okay. So that's how Rossi and Aaron O'Nugent got. So it's not that it's not confirming. What it's doing, if you go back and look at the message, is it's saying it's your question, your message is longer than 100 characters. So, and that's it. It doesn't include you. I set a limit of 10. That's right. So we have, it's in the chat if you want to take a look. So the next 10 people in the queue, which is the only 10 people in the queue, is Sudabe. Well, Paul first, okay, and he's number 11. Sudabe, Stu Toffee, Carl Hees, Joyful Journey, A Light Worker, Diane G, Heavenly Blessed Honey. Hi, Sonia. V. Doyle, Melinda. Hi, Melinda. Welcome. I don't remember seeing you here before. And Nivra. And Erin says she used to work in a pet store and she felt sick with guilt when their wings got clipped. It's comforting to know that clipping wings can be for the bird's safety. Absolutely. And Leah, I'm sorry, but questions are closed. Let me change the banner. I got organized. As organized as I'll ever be.
Hi, the Chrome Zone.
Okay. Oh, hi, Priscilla. Hi, Priscilla. Yeah, Leah, I'm sorry. Rossi, if you have a question, put it in because I owe you one. It'll be 12. Yeah, I know. Whatever.
Fine.
Yes. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, there's lots of reasons for clipping a bird's wings. Sometimes people aren't comfortable with having a bird flying around their house because poop, right? But yeah. I mean, it's not that I'm a pig, although, I have been accused of you let your birds fly around and poop everywhere. Well, they don't poop everywhere, okay? They have their favorite spots that they like to poop. They don't generally poop in flight, although that can happen. They like to sit on a perch somewhere and just snuggle up, and then they let her rip. So I put plastic underneath their favorite spots, their favorite poop spots, their favorite toilets. I put plastic. I buy shower curtains at the dollar store, and so I have a stack of shower curtains, and I just wrap them up and throw them out. Not my job cleaning it up. I just wrap it up and throw it out. And so that but generally speaking, people clip birds' wings so that they don't fly around the house pooping. This has been my observation anyway. They're afraid of that. And I don't blame them. I mean, people have nice things. But my experience has been that they don't fly around pooping. They have their favorite spots, and you can do it. So it's a hell of a cleanup when I have people coming over, though, just to make everything disappear. Anyway, so we better get to the questions.
That's not Wanda. We want to see Wanda.
Yeah, well, she's not doing, and she's very happy because she's getting almonds again, as many as she wants.
Oh, okay.
Diane says she likes birds that don't fly like chickens. I like chickens too, and they do so fly. They do.
Yep.
Yep. Not very far and not very high, but they fly.
They do fly.
Yep, they do. Okay, Rossi, I have your question. And I have your question. Let me star it. So Rossi, and I don't know, did Erin have a question? Do you remember? Okay, never mind. I'll just start. We'll start with Paul's, because Erin, if you do have a question that ow. Look, you're supposed to grab the shirt, not the skin. She likes to grab my skin when she climbs up me. Okay. Okay, Paul, you're here. Okay, good. Can our spirit be working up in heaven, or do we sit on a cloud and eat grapes and cherries all day? I hope this was a serious question, Paul, because I'm taking it seriously.
Do you want to do the prayer first?
Yeah, I wasn't even gonna look at the masters for the answer to this. I was gonna refer
Okay.
him to some research, but good
Oh,
idea. Thank you very much. I'm going to open with the prayer of protection and then read the key. We are surrounded by the pure white light of divine source. We ask Archangel Michael to protect and guide us, and we call forth all of our angels, guides, beings of light, and Akashic Records masters to assist us now to receive information of the highest truth, highest frequency of light and love, allowing us to receive exactly what we need for our greatest good and the greatest good of humanity. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We open ourselves to the light, and with this light, we open ourselves to our truth. And with this light, we open ourselves to our soul's purpose. And with this light, we open ourselves to be guided towards our highest good and the highest good of all in divine love. And so this group, consisting of the people now present, those who will join us later, and those who will watch in the future, is given the truth to best serve them on their healing journey into the love and acceptance that is most beneficial for them in this moment. I'm going to read silently. And with this light and guidance, we unlock the energy field of this group to receive the records of their soul.
We should breathe 3 times too.
Yeah, I forgot that part. Want to do that now?
Sure.
Okay.
Get everybody to do it with us.
Okay, so we're going to, together, all of us are going to, we should have done this at the beginning, but you know, better now than never. Take 3 deep breaths, fill up your lungs all the way down to your belly button. Hold it for a few seconds and then let it go out through your mouth. So in through your nose, hold for a few seconds, out through your mouth. We'll begin. Hold it, hold it. Again. Last time. Okay, well, that feels a lot better, doesn't it?
I think so.
Okay.
Back to Paul.
Hi, Liz. Hi, Liz in awe.
It's a psychic after my mom's passing.
That's interesting. That's interesting, Teelin. So the first thing I want to share with you, Paul, is that this is not my understanding of the afterlife, okay? My understanding of the afterlife is that it's continuing education. It's not, and it can involve incarnation, or it can involve like classes. And I would like to highly recommend to you, well, and to all of you, I would like to highly recommend that you read Dr. Michael Newton, Newton, Journey of Souls, I believe, or The Soul's Journey. I can't remember exactly the title, and it's in my phone. I have it on Kindle, so it's in my phone. I can't look it up right now. I believe it's Journey of Souls, and the other book is Destiny of Souls. There's other books as well, but those two really opened my eyes, and I can share with you that so far, and I mean things may change, right? Because I'm learning too. Ow! Okay, this is why I should always wear my hair up. What I've observed so far confirms Dr. Newton's writings, confirms what he says about what souls are doing in the next life, which is basically studying and learning and I don't know, going on field trips to Arcturus or whatever. How about you, Pixie? What did you want to share with Paul about this?
There are some people that have been maybe sick for a very long time, or maybe they have had an emotional problem and, exited. And they kind of stay in like it's not really a hospital as we see it. It's more of just a resting place
A
where the
healing.
body,
Yeah.
your soul body can be restored, basically. It just gives you time to just, until you feel ready to go into a class or to go somewhere else. And you usually have a soul group that you're going to meet when you go. So they'll wait for you. They don't, usually reincarnate until all the souls are back on the other side. It's unusual it happens, but it's more usual that they'll hang out together until everybody crosses over. And then they make their plans again to reincarnate as a soul group. There's going to be changes because you're going to change your contract. It's not the same every time.
Yeah, and you work on your next life. You work on designing your next life and the contracts that you're going to have in that next life and all kinds of stuff like that. And Carl says Val channeled my dad practicing guitar and other instruments in heaven. Yeah, I mean, people have fun. It's not like all work. People have fun and they get together and they go visit us. They come and visit us and come to us in our dreams and do all kinds of stuff like that. I mean, it's not, I know the healing center or the resting place that Pixie was talking about. That's where my son went after he took his life. That's where he was for quite a while. Okay, he's not there now, but he's pretty much okay now. I know because he comes to talk to me all the time, and they don't. You're learning new things, and you're learning things that you haven't learned on Earth, like you can't learn on Earth. Okay. And also spending a lot of time with other souls and talking to each other. I mean, it sounds boring, but it doesn't look boring to me.
No.
I'd have fun. That sounds like fun to me. So there you go. Thank you, Diane G. Oh my goodness, the mod of mods. Mwah. Thank you. Journey of Souls, Case Studies of Life Between Lives. There you go. It is an amazing book. It opened my eyes. And as I said, everything that I've seen so far and I've observed so far is absolutely congruent. It matches everything that he writes about in his book. Wanda doesn't want to let go of my finger. Well, what can I say? She can hold on to it. So I hope that helps, Paul. And next, I'm going to do Rossi and Erin. Erin, she had her nails trimmed too. Okay, like it was a total spa day for her. She was still really angry about it, and did a lot of complaining. Was happy to see me, but complained a lot. Rossi, you're next. Can the masters tell me what lesson I came to learn and if I am working on it? Well, yeah, of course you're working on it. I mean, you're breathing, right?
Oh, how cool is that for T. Lynn's mom to have a nice pedicure?
Yeah. That just touches me. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that happens a lot. A lot of times, if they couldn't like maybe walk, or they had a stroke before
Yeah.
they over, then they'll show you they're physically whole again. That they don't have any of the maladies or illnesses that they had when they were here. Or
So the
like
vet.
they get pretty excited about it. Don't blame them.
Yeah. Sudhavet, I will be starting the questions in the queue as soon as I've answered Rossi's, but I owe Rossi this. So this is, um, that's how I'm doing it today. And
So,
next week I might do it differently, but this is today. So Rossi, your lesson is one about self-confidence, self-worth, and self-reliance. Um, Learning to trust yourself, um, and to trust your intuition, and yeah, see, I poke her in the tail and it hurts. I'm going to have to trim that feather later. Um, your lesson is um, that you are as worthy. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of respect, and it's okay to look after yourself. It's important to look after yourself. It's important to love yourself and to make sure that you have what you need to flourish. So not just to survive, but to flourish. Do you need books? Do you need art? Do you need I don't know, beauty around you? It's okay to um it's okay. It's okay to have those things around you. It's not a waste of resources. It's important for you. Um that's all I have. That's all I have. Go ahead, Pixie.
I heard patience, patience, and then I heard the Beatles song, "The Long and Winding Road."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why, but that song is making me emotional. Maybe it means something to Rossi, but it's definitely a song you want to look up and look at the lyrics for, because it's a message for you. But patience, patience with yourself, patience with the process, patience with other people. Um, Sometimes it helps to just breathe if you feel like you can't, maybe you feel like you're going to explode, or you're, this person is really aggravating you. Just try and find a coping mechanism and just, tell yourself, this too shall pass, and just breathe. But patience is, I'm hearing they're telling me patience is one of the things that you're working on this lifetime. At times you find it very difficult to be patient because of the way someone's acting sometimes, or, learning things. Because learning anything takes time. Unless you're one of those people, and this is very rare, but they do come in where they come in at 2 and they can already play baby grand piano. That is a predestined lifetime, and that's not very common. It does happen. But most of us are coming in to the lifetimes where we helped design it, and what it was that we didn't do so well on, maybe in a past life, or we didn't work on it in a past life, but we feel like we'd like to work on it in the life that we're planning with our guides. But that's what I heard really loud was patience, have patience, and that song.
Yeah.
Right now I'm not, they're saying that's not, they're saying that's enough for now for you to work on it. Sounds simple, but it's a project is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lifetime project, Rossi.
And somebody's saying, "We love you, Rossi." I can hear it
They
loud.
always, they always love us so much.
But I don't usually hear the greeting right up front. They want you to know that you're loved.
Thank you, Pixie.
You're
And
welcome.
thank you, Rossi. And next we have Sudabe, who wants to know who or what or who was I in my past life, if I had any in Egypt or India, please. So, Sudabe, you've had many past lives. We all have. Some of us more than others. It's not just like one past life, but you want to know about Egypt or India. Pixie, if you're ready to go, go ahead. I'm still tuning in.
I'm hearing music. It's just instrumental music. It's not a song I recognize. But it sounds like Egyptian music. You know, on the I don't
Yeah?
know if you can make the sound. Yeah, but I can hear it. Um, Many years ago is what I heard. Let me see if that can get them more information. I don't know. I'm hearing 1830. Female. Your family during that lifetime was very musical. Everybody played an instrument. You sang. Um, it's how you entertained company, but it's also was a way for your family to make a living. I don't know if many people know much about that society has a caste system. So a lot of people are born into a specific level of society or a specific function of society. Um, but that's what your family, that was kind of your heritage, basically. I see a lot of dancing. I see bare feet. So you weren't wearing any shoes.
Any idea where, Pixie?
It's in India. I'm looking. I'm here in North India, not South. North. But your family traveled though, because you would get invited to functions like weddings and things like that. Um, so you traveled quite a bit. Had a fairly nice home, so your family was fairly well to do. And I'm hearing you never went hungry. And you loved what you did, which is really a gift. There's some people it takes a whole lifetime for them to find what they love, but you loved what you did. You had a sister in that lifetime, younger, I want to say about 10. So she was being taught, well, I guess you could call it the family business, but she was being taught to dance. She was not as coordinated as you were. So you had to learn patience because your skill came very easily to you, but it did not come easily to your younger sister. But she adored you, admired you, was frustrated because she couldn't do it as quickly as you could. Um, oh, I'm hearing, but that wasn't really her gift. Her gift was for an instrument. But because she was female, she definitely had to learn how to dance. But that was where I'm hearing, that's where my heaven was. My heaven was when I was able to play my instrument. She became really well known for her playing. And sometimes your father would actually take just your sister somewhere because somebody had specifically requested her to play that instrument. I don't feel any jealousy from you though about, her being singled out sometimes. As a matter of fact, what I'm hearing is for you it was a bit of a relief because you got some downtime. Because it wasn't always easy, the traveling portion of it. Because, it's not like today where we, jump in our car and if it's raining and nobody gets wet. You had a wagon, but that was pretty hard going when the soil was wet. Very difficult. And then you try and switch to donkeys. You couldn't, horses were very expensive. They were kind of a premium item. But donkeys are extremely durable, a little stubborn, but usually cooperated. They had a really good home with your family, and they knew that. This is interesting that you had a parrot. It's not wanda size. It's bigger and it's very colorful. This is kind of a cliche, but ruled the roost because she was a pretty big bird. And everybody tried to keep her happy because she was also a part of, your entertainment troupe, quote unquote. You were particularly attached to that bird, and that bird was attached to you more than anybody else in the family. Hearing, oh, she watches over you in this lifetime from the other side. She's kind of like one of your guides. It's really interesting. She's showing me watching you. You're outside, you're walking. And she still likes the trees. She said, I still like the trees better than a perch. Sorry, she's funny. But yeah. Just knows that she's always there, always watching, trying to help in any way. Just wants to be close to you, basically. It's been many lifetimes since you've been with her.
So was the family wealthy?
I wouldn't call them wealthy. Wealthy, what I'm seeing is like, where it's, they call that, where he's the chief guy in the province. I can't think of the name for some reason. It's escaping me because I'm still partially on the other side. The Maharaja, when he had the elephant and he had great wealth and he had jewels and really fancy clothes. They were not at that level, but they were fairly high up. As far as their clothing, because their clothing was also part of their job, because it's for so yeah. But I don't get that anybody was unhappy with that lifetime. None of her family members. They didn't like the traveling, because the traveling, like I said, could be very difficult, but they usually loved the performing. Once in a while, it's like anything else, you get a customer that's difficult. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they kind of learned over quite a period of time how to smooth somebody like that, so they could get them calm down, breathe kind of thing, or find something they really liked or they really wanted, and they would accommodate them. So yeah, but I don't get that was a bad lifetime at all.
Yeah.
I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I hope so too, Sudabed. Thanks for the question. That was pretty interesting. I don't have anything to add to that myself. Oh, Sudabed wants to know what she looked like.
What did you look like? About 5'8", long hair, which you kept up for performance. You had a very intricate hairstyle when you performed. It depended on the occasion, is what I'm hearing. So sometimes your hair would be up and very intricate, a lot of jeweled like pins, and it took quite a while to put it up like that. And then there were other times, depending on the function, that you would wear it down. But your hands, I can see them moving. It's fascinating to watch. But yeah, you were about 5'8". You were pretty petite. Your sister was actually ended up being taller than you, which is interesting. But yeah, you were very petite. You had, dark hair. You like to go barefoot. You'd rather go barefoot than put any kind of shoe on. So whenever you didn't have to wear any kind of slipper or shoe, that's what you did. That's what you did. You went barefoot everywhere. I hear that you lived a long lifetime. So you died at an much older age, unfortunately, than your sister. She exited first. Oh, okay. I'm hearing snake bite. That's what I'm hearing. It really, okay, let me breathe.
Okay.
It really upset her.
Yeah. Yeah. That's apparently still a very common way for people to die in India.
Yes.
Okay. Next, next I have a question from Erin O'Nugent. It's not in the queue, but I promised her I would answer her. And it's not really a question. She says she feels beyond help in this life. Please ask the guides to send me someone above to intervene and get me through this difficult and joyless time. Erin, there is never any shame to asking for help. And Pixie and I will do a clearing and a healing for everyone, but my own intention will be set specifically for you at the end. So stick around. And
do you feel like it's a male?
I'm sorry, I'm.
Is it a male that's causing the issue?
I didn't actually even look.
I just heard it. I just wondered if you had heard anything.
Just a second. Yeah, let's maybe read on this and see a little bit about the cause for Erin's.
Oh, it's okay, it's Erin.
Erin, what I'm hearing, Erin, is some of this is not of your own making. Like some of this is not consequences of your actions. Like it's not because you made kind of in a way, a bad decision to connect yourself to someone who's now creating this. But this is blown this has blown right up. I'm not going to say out of all proportion, but it has blown right up. And you're now surrounded. I just see you surrounded by like a thundercloud, a thunderstorm. So
What do you ever listen to any chakra clearing?
it's exactly what I was just thinking.
Clearing at all, Erin? That would really help you because it's accumulating in different.
Yeah.
And if you don't clear them, they're going to get heavy, and it will drag your mood down. And you need to ground yourself every day, but that chakra clearing will help a lot. But I want you to picture yourself in it's kind of like, starts at the top and kind of goes down like the flame of the top of the flame of a candle. That's the shape I'm seeing. And what you need to do is visualize yourself inside that white light so that you're inside the light. So nothing's going to penetrate into your light. Because I want you to, I feel like that somebody's trying to send you energy that you don't need and you don't want. And if you can do that, it'll help protect you. Call in your guides, because you do have guides. You really do. I know you probably might not think you do, but you do have guides.
And there's protection angels for you as well. You call on them for help. You have angels for protection.
Call in Archangel Michael.
Yeah.
Archangel Michael
is a good one. Yeah.
no matter what, it's no matter what your religion is, it's energy. And that may be just the frame of reference that we know, but it doesn't mean it's not going to protect you. It is. And it's kind of easier sometimes if you have something to visualize, because he's pretty big and he has a really big sword that helps you visualize what he looks like.
Yeah.
He's very powerful. And ask him to cut the cords that you have
Yeah.
from the other person, that they keep, you're disconnecting them and they're reconnecting them.
They
It's kind
keep
of
hooking in.
like the battle that's going on. And so you have right now it's you're kind of in the thick of it, which is why it's so difficult. But I'm just seeing what I see when I ask about it. They're showing me blue sky, which means that thunderstorm that Linda was talking about, that's not going to be around long. If you continue to practice those things, it's going to clear
Yeah.
what's constantly trying to come at you all the time. This is a very nasty person, whoever this is. It's like they're not satisfied unless they're making somebody miserable. And, I understand what the problem is, but still, it's very difficult to deal with. But you have to, it's kind of like a battle. Look at it like
Aaron,
a battle, like you're going into battle. So put your armor on to like picture a breastplate from your neck down to your waist. Will protect your chakras too after you clean them. It'll
yeah.
help keep that away from you, and then put that white, beautiful shape over top of you. And it'll help you a lot if you can clear your chakras. You won't be so tired. And if you protect yourself, that'll really help, because this person likes to, impinge on other people's energy fields. So, make your, I don't know if I don't know, some people don't use post-it notes, but anything you can do to remind yourself and make it kind of a daily ritual that you do. And you're doing it for yourself. And as you do it, know that energy is going to be pushed further and further and further away.
Yeah.
And you're going to eventually be able to snuff it out. It's not going to be able to.
They won't be able to touch you. Erin says she regrets everything and she feels tired. Oh, honey.
Don't hold yourself responsible.
Yeah,
Look
it's
at
so.
it like, you're probably a very loving and a very giving person. And unfortunately, those type of people are attracted to people that are very empathic.
Yeah.
And so don't beat yourself up. Look at it like it was a lesson, and look at it like I got out. That's a huge positive.
Yeah.
There are people that stay in things like that for, 30 years. They never leave, and it just sucks the life out of them. So you need to pat yourself on the back.
Yeah. It's she says, I jump up and try to help my mom, stepdad, anyone, and I get punished, but it's my instinct to help. So I can't help it. Well, yeah, you can help it because they clearly don't want your help. So don't give them what they don't want, right? You don't give somebody something they don't want. That's just
yourself first.
Yeah. And
It's like anything else. If you don't fill your own cup, you can't help somebody else.
Yeah. And
but
part of
your cup, if I feel like it's been drained, like there's a hole in the bottom of it. That's
yeah. Yeah.
So, fill up the hole. It's your energy. You get to do with it what you want to do with it. But look at it. Just keep seeing the cup is full, and it's your cup. You're not giving it away to anybody, not right now, because you don't have anything to give away. You need to heal your own body, mind, and soul, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. And, I got really loud and clear about clearing yourself and keeping your inner self.
Mm-hmm.
The word they're using is pure, but I think
I heard pristine.
Yeah.
Pure,
Yeah. That keeping yourself, your inner being clear and clean and untroubled by any forces that you don't want there, any unhealthy forces. Part of this is part of what you're here to learn, Erin, is looking after yourself, valuing yourself, and loving yourself enough to protect yourself from unwanted interference, unwanted attention, unwanted whatever, protecting yourself. So, yeah, it is hard to learn. It's not an easy lesson. The whole thing about self-worth, especially for women, and especially for like self-worth in the Western world for women, is really like we're just so twisted around that. Where our learning, our teaching and our learning is so twisted around that. We have a lot to unlearn before we can begin to be healthy about that kind of thing. But this is your opportunity to learn that, Erin. Archangel Michael, yeah, big flaming sword. And it's also a cleansing sword. So not only will it cut the cords that are the energetic cords that are tying you to this person, this situation, I'm not sure which. I think it's largely a person, but anyway, but it will cleanse you as well. And purification by fire hurts. That's all I'm going to say about that. It's going to hurt. Yeah. Because you're going to have to learn new stuff and let go of stuff that you thought was true and all the rest of that. But if people don't want it, don't give it. You know? Oh, you don't want my help? Okay, fine. Sucks to be you, because guess what?
Just check in with your inner guidance system. It's there, and it'll get stronger the more you use it. And you can also stand in the shower.
Yeah.
Visualize the shower as white light and allow it to cleanse your aura. That's an easy way to do it.
Yeah.
But if you have to make a practice of it, because the more you do it, I just see your aura, your auric field and everything is expanding. It's just not just like outside; it's above us and below us also. So it's pictured like an egg shape almost. But if you do those things, you're gonna notice a difference in your mood. So when you start thinking about that person, they're probably sending some kind of energy your way, and just say, I don't want anything to do with that energy anymore. I'm done with it. And send it back. But if you keep yourself in that white shape that looks like the top of the flame of a candle, that will really help you, because it'll bounce. It won't be able to get to you. It's going to bounce off. But it's so important that you do those things. We can't force you to do it, but we're, telling you that that's going to help a lot.
Yeah.
And you need to work on yourself too.
Yeah. And we'll do a healing and a clearing after this for you as well, Erin. But in the meantime, there's tons of chakra clearing meditations on YouTube. I know, because I listen to them. And Erin has an interesting comment. She says, it's scary. Can I be a whole person all by myself? Oh,
you were always meant to be a whole person. You were
you
never
are.
meant to be half of a person ever.
Yeah.
That's not, all of us have that divine right, and you do too. There's
Yeah.
nobody that does not have that divine right, Erin. You need to see yourself as separate. And actually, when you're a separate whole person, you're going to attract a much better person to you, because they will be whole and separate themselves.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're going to meld together. It's not that crazy, love story that we've been sold forever. It's not like that. The
Which is
healthiest,
part of what we have to unlearn, by the way, because that's like really unhealthy,
yes,
really toxic.
and it's sold to us from a very young age. If you look at some of the cartoons like Cinderella, Snow White, it's always the happy ending and the guy, and we have to unlearn that stuff.
Yeah, really, really. Okay.
Good luck,
So
Erin.
excellent suggestion, Carl. He suggested that she listen to Sinead O'Connor's song, Am I Enough for Myself? Yeah. Excellent suggestion.
It, but
I happen to love Sinead O'Connor.
Well, music is it moves.
Yeah. It touches your heart. It touches your soul.
It's a universal language. Music is a universal language.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. Thanks for that suggestion, Carl. That's really excellent. So next person in the queue is Sue Toffee, who wants to know, will I rent a place by myself or will I have to share with a flatmate or a share house? Well, okay, so Sue, this isn't a real good question for the Akashic Records Masters, but we can take a look at the energy around it. And I'm immediately getting it's up to you. See, the thing about the Akashic Records Masters is that they don't really care about the same things we care about. The Records Masters, the Akashic Records Masters, their only concern is our spiritual development. So where you want to work, where you want to live, yeah, whatever. That's generally what they say. Unless there's like some specific circumstance that makes it different somehow. Like, for example, they want you to move somewhere for some specific reason. But for the 99.9% of us, they don't care. You live and how you live and what you do is what you want, is whatever you want. And what I'm hearing right now is however you want, whatever you want to do, go ahead. You're free to choose. You will learn different lessons in different circumstances. It's all good.
There is a roommate if she wants one though, and it's a good person. You know, that's what they're showing me. It's a good person. It will save. You know, it'll allow you a little more freedom financially. They're saying it's, you know, either way, it's up to you. There's a lesson in either choice, is what I'm hearing. But
Yeah.
I do see a roommate. I already see them waiting in the wings. But they're a good person. You know, they're not going to be like a crazy roommate or, you know, one who's loud all the time. They're not like that.
One with parrots.
They're kind of, well, it's not that. But, you know, they're looking for somebody that, you know, is kind of like them. And so they've already put the energy out. Oh, they're very good at manifesting, is what I'm seeing too. I see a vision board that she has up on the wall. So she's already been manifesting for quite a while for the right place and the right roommate, because she doesn't want to go through any problems with the roommate. So it's your choice. You can have either or. So they're kind of giving you a little bit of a glimpse that one of the differences will be financial. You'll have more freedom with the roommate. But your fear is that you're going to get a horrific roommate.
Yeah.
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. It's not funny, but something is happening over here. So they're just showing me like a movie of what a horrible roommate would be like, kind of like. That's what I'm saying. I'm not laughing to be rude, but yeah, it's like night and day is what they're showing me. Like there's this one over here that you're so worried about getting, and then there's this one over here that's been manifesting for the perfect roommate. So
yeah.
But you can ask your guides. You have guides too. So if you meditate or go for a walk and meditate, some people find that easier. Whatever is the easiest for you. You can also find meditation CDs on YouTube. I call them CDs. Sorry, I'm old and dirt. But yeah, that really will. That'll help you a lot because you can kind of zone in when you're doing that and ask. They'll give you a nudge one way or another. You have to get used to paying attention because sometimes it can be subtle. Sometimes it's not subtle. It's loud. Yeah. So
Inspiration.
But it's your choice. But either way is going to have a lesson for you. But that is one of the advantages of having the roommate, and the fear of that you're going to get that crazy roommate that I can still see the movie of on my lap. You're not going to get that roommate, not for what I'm saying.
As a mother, the worst roommate possible is a teenage boy.
Well, I can't argue with that one either.
That's my benchmark for an awful roommate.
Well, I just think teenagers in general are difficult.
Yeah, teenagers in
for
general.
teenagers and for parents both. Because
Yeah,
it's a surprise. of their
Yeah.
identity. So it's tough.
Yeah. Oh, Sue says that she just created a profile an hour ago and she's already been messaged by a new roommate who has a cat too. Oh, I hope your cats don't fight. Okay, thank you. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Go for it.
I heard they won't. They'll have their moment of like, this is my space over here and that's your space. That kind of, they'll
Yeah,
sort that. I'm
there you
seeing the
go.
stories out. They're not going to be like constantly fighting, and hissing and everything at each other. They're going to settle into a routine. It'll take them, a little bit because it's like anybody else. And if you move into a house and you've got a roommate, it's going to take you a while to, get acclimatized to that person. So
Yeah. Go for it, Sue. You get to choose whatever you want. I hope that helped.
if you want to double check, like I said, ask your guides for
your own guides.
confirmation. Yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
have them, give it to your cat and have your cat do something that where it's, it's a good thing.
Okay. Thanks for that question, Sue. The next person in the queue is Carl Hees with the question. May I have a message from my friend Vanjie and or other spirits? Okay, so this is mediumship, Carl. You know better. But okay. I guess we're going to do mediumship as well as.
Okay, I'm trying to find this question.
Wasn't it Vanjie that I was reading on for you last week that came forward, or was that someone else?
So you read for somebody. I remember last week. I just don't remember.
Yeah, because you asked for one of your friends. You had a bunch of friends that most of them had gone, and this one had died. I don't remember exactly right now because I'm not all here, but I this woman is okay. So Vanjie, come forward. Tell me something that Carl would understand and Carl would recognize you by. Show me something. Tell me something. Share some information with me. I'm sure that this is either her sister, it's the same woman, or it's her sister, because she's standing here, and I remember this clearly, standing here, wagging her finger at you and telling you to get off your patootie, get off your behind, and start looking after yourself better, and start because I know it's like 9 o'clock in the morning where you are, and you haven't slept yet, or 6 o'clock, or whatever it is. She's really, really upset with you for not looking after yourself, and not just in the basics of eating, sleeping, but also look the way you're looking after your work. She says you're sloppy. You're really sloppy. You don't have any documentation. You know better than this. I taught you better than this. Yeah. Oh, that was Jane. Okay. Vanjie is calmer. Well, not today. She's not. Not today. She's not. She's just as irate as Jane was. Is it Jane again? I don't know. She's very familiar, though. I mean, she may be Jane's sister. I don't know. They feel like sisters to me. Were they close in real life? Because this woman is telling me that, is saying, yeah, we're sisters. So, Carl, were Jane and Vanjie close in this lifetime? Because she's telling me they were sisters. Lilia. Okay, I don't know what that means.
I keep seeing a Congo line. I can't figure out why.
Well, you go ahead then, because it appears that I may have the wrong person.
I'm just seeing a Congo line, and then I can hear the a locomotive makes that, and it keeps
Yeah, yeah,
getting
yeah,
and
yeah,
fast.
yeah.
Starts out in the Congo line, but then it goes to the railroad. Okay, so you start out with the Congo line, but then you're leaving the Congo line and going to the train. I don't feel like it's this person he wants to talk to. I feel like it's a past lifetime. Maybe he was in this past lifetime with that person. Let me ask. I heard yes loud and clear, and it was like a not very happy yes. Like,
Yeah, she's not. She's the really.
oh, she goes, oh my God. She's like, I'm sorry. Oh Lord. Um, she's got a big old paddle in her hand, Carl, and she wants to smack you in the butt with it. Oh man.
Hi, Mirella.
Move it, move it, move it, move it. I'm hearing. The train's sitting there, it's waiting at the station. What in the world are you doing? Boy, poor Carl, you're getting chewed out today, big
Yeah,
time.
yeah. She was quite pissed.
Oh, okay. That's a lifetime with her. That person had a lifetime with you where you had the same issue you're working on right now. That's what I'm hearing. She's not happy. She's like, you didn't learn it last time. Do you really want to go through it and learn it all, try and learn it all over again? She says you didn't get it last time. That's why you put it in this lifetime. She's have a third lifetime with that lesson learned. Do you really? Sorry, she's really feisty and funny.
Yeah, all these women are very, very strong and
What's that? I don't know what this song is. I'm da 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 da. Oh, I don't know what that's from.
pomp and circumstance.
It's definitely like a
It's a processional. I
yes,
recognize it. Yeah.
yeah. That's what I'm hearing. So professional means get it in
Proce-
gear. I'll leave that one word. Get it in gear. You're you're distracting yourself so you don't have to think about it. That's not going to solve anything. They said they're frustrated because you have your guys right there. She said, and they're kind of like sitting around waiting. Like, she goes, do you think they want to spend their eternity this time twiddling their thumbs? She said, we even sent you an extra guide. They're telling you got an extra guide, Carl. That particular guide is particularly assigned to this issue where they're trying to get you to get it together. Because that's the only way you're going to move forward, is what they're saying. You have to get it together. You have to be organized. You have to be disciplined. You can't be distracted by other things. You need to focus. Okay. Focus, focus, focus.
That song, Rossi just reminded. It's what they play at graduations when
Oh, okay.
when people come up. Yeah, and I believe it's called Pomp and Circumstance.
It's an interesting song for Carl, though, right? They want you
Yeah,
to wait, Carl. They're tired of waiting for you to
yeah,
walk up the aisle.
yeah,
For Carl,
yeah.
Kelly says, but it's not us talking; it's your guys and your previous lifetime companions. They're getting a little bit
No,
irritated.
this woman that I'm talking to is not Jane. She says she's Jane's sister, or they were sisters in this lifetime, or they are like from the same soul family, so they consider each other sisters, but they're close. But it's not, and they're similar, but they're not the same person. This woman is more is just as feisty, but she also has a really soft side to her, and she's really, really empathetic. And Jane tends to be a little more black and white, and unequivocal, let's say. And this woman, whoever she is willing to see shades of gray and nuance and stuff like that, and cut you some slack and give you another chance and all the rest of it. But she's at the end of her patience.
Yeah, the person that I'm seeing on.
Okay, are you Lilia? Are you Lilia?
I heard I am.
Yeah. That's Lilia.
They're wanting you to. It's like you're trying to control everything, and it's frustrating to them because they're wanting you to focus on the business at hand. And they
Yeah.
will help you with the other things, but you want to have control of everything. And they said that it's not going to serve you at all.
Yeah.
They want you to be organized and focused on what's going to bring you the money, and they're going to help you manifest the other things. But it's like you don't. It's kind of like before when I remember I talked to you and you didn't want to move forward because you thought you get stuck in that other place. You need to let go. You can't control the outcome of everything, because when you do that, you don't allow them any. They can't manifest for you. You may want something, Carl, but they see something so much greater than what you're looking at. But you're kind of in their way. You're not helping them. You need to step back and kind of let the brakes off and take your hands off the steering wheel and focus on the one thing they want you to focus on, which is work, being organized, fulfilling that in the way it should be done, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
And then they will help with the other things because you're like really scattered. You're not focused enough. You're scattered all over the place. And
you're not leaving room.
You're like
leaving room for them.
Yeah, and you're it's like a pinpoint that you're focusing on, and it's not helping you. It's not serving you at all. And it's very hard for you to let go, but they're right there. They really want to help.
Yeah.
There's one special guy that's they sent just to work on this issue we're talking about with you right now.
The guide of focus. Oh my God.
But yes, I see her. She's leaving. She's waving. You stand on the back of the train, the last car, and you can wave.
Yeah.
She's waving at you, Carl. She's saying, "Bye for now."
Yeah.
Get to work. It's just like bye for now, and then get to work. A really serious tone in her voice. She says, "I'm not gone." She said, "I'm around. And when you really need me, I'll come back." But she wants you to accomplish that first. That's why the graduation music.
Yeah.
Poor Carl. I feel like we're picking on him every time we talk to him, but it's not me. It's my guys and his guys. So.
Wow. So I hope that helps, Carl. It certainly is. You have some very entertaining friends on the other side. Thanks so much for introducing them to us. And I want to say hi to Gerald, who just came in, and Mirella. And there was somebody else I missed. I'm sorry, my brain is like a sieve right now. So yeah, I'm sorry if I miss saying hello to anybody. But there you go. So yeah,
we're not trying to ignore anybody. We're just sometimes it's we're half in and half out. It's kind of hard to explain, but
yeah. Sometimes wording is hard. Braining, not easy. Okay. Next person in the queue is Joyful Journey. Hi, Joyful, with message. What type of job did I have in a past life? Do I have lessons from that life? Okay, so ground sort of information here, or like basic kind of groundwork. Do you have lessons from that life? My understanding, and I could be wrong, my understanding is that between lives, we decide what we're going to learn in this life coming up. It's all of a piece, because it's all a continuous spiritual journey. It's all a continuous learning experience. Okay. So it's not like you didn't finish grade 5 and so you have to repeat your home economics or whatever. In this, do you understand what I'm saying? You're not like repeating a lesson. You may be learning a different aspect of it. You may be learning a different, your lessons, Joyful. Oh, job. Okay, so let's talk about job. All right. I'm looking at like a whole bunch of lives are coming up like in a wheel, and for like one and then another and then another and then another in a series. And man, you've done a lot of stuff. You've been a fisher, you've been a farmer, you've been an animal, like breeding and raising animals and selling them because they were really good. You've done all kinds of, you've been a merchant, you've been an entertainer. I see you with a musical instrument that I don't recognize. Um, you've done lots of stuff. You've done basically what we all do, which is whatever you have to do to eat, you know, and pay the bills. Um, Most of your lives haven't really been focused on the material acquisition, like the acquisition of wealth. There have been a few lifetimes where you ended up wealthy, but um, most of your lifetimes have not been about acquiring wealth. Most of your lifetimes have been focused around family and community, and integrating and cooperating and building and all that kind of stuff. I see very few lives lived alone. That's why I'm saying it. There were a few where you were like a monk or a, but mostly you've lived in family and in community. Well, even as a monk, you lived in community, right? Because monasteries are a community. And you're still working on those, you're still working on that different aspects of the whole, how to live as part of a community, how to live as part of a family. Um, that's still a focus of your spiritual growth in this lifetime. That's still something that you are uh, that you're very interested in and that you try to learn more about, is about community and supporting community and building community and so on. And on a much more personal and intimate level with family. That's what I've got. You want to go ahead, Pixie?
Mm-hmm. It's in her nom de plume, in her the name she chose for YouTube.
Yes.
She,
Yes.
okay, you're looking for the joy. You look for the joy in the moment, but you're also, you look for the joy when you interact with other people. What they are wanting you to learn this lifetime is there's joy in supporting yourself by doing something you love. It's not just about people, it's about you. And you have an ability. Hold on just a second. This could be coming from past lifetime because I'm seeing you with a quill. So you're writing. Hold on. Oh, okay. In that lifetime, you used the quill to do accounting work. I see you working on the ledgers. And even though it was a very useful gift that you had, because you did have a gift for numbers, it wasn't very joyful. It was kind of slogging along every day. You know, it's not a lot of joy in numbers. I mean, unless some people find them, I'm sure, fascinating, but you didn't in that lifetime, and I can understand how you feel about that. Um, oh, wow. Okay. Well, have you ever thought about doing any numerology? Because I'm hearing the gift goes along with the numbers. Hold on.
So you didn't have enough numbers in that lifetime, Joyful.
Yeah, right. But this is different because numerology helps people. It's a very complicated science. Most people don't understand really how complicated it can be because you're looking at a lot of different things over a period of time. See, they just think, oh, it's your life path or it's this or that, but it also tells you in there, like, I'm a master numerologist, might be why I'm getting this information. I don't know. But you can tell by what letters are missing in your name and other things. You can tell what your lessons are. You can tell what stones you're missing that you could carry with you that would help you. You could wear them. Um, I mean, I can tell if I'm working on someone's chart and there are five, life path fives are very lucky. They either hit the jackpot through a lottery or they'll hit the jackpot by fame. I've done so many charts where I've seen famous actors with a life path of five. Now, there's a caveat to that because I have a very, it's chaotic, which, as you can imagine, if you think about it, not just the surface glitzy part of being an actor, it can be very up and down and very chaotic. But I feel like you would really like that, is what they're saying. You can learn a lot if I don't know, probably a library full of numerology books, but I also took some classes. I think you would find it fascinating. You have people, because you're in community, that you can practice on, and they'll find it fun unless they're, the kind of person that thinks it's hoodoo, bad energy, but it's not. It's been around since before the Greeks, so it's been around a very long time. But that's what I'm hearing. And you see, when you do that work, what's going to kick in is your psychic ability is going to start kicking in. They kind of fit together, is what I'm hearing. They'd like you to look into it. And they think once you start looking into it, it's going to be like you can't get enough stuff to read, enough people's charts to do. It does come with, you have to have a tremendous amount of integrity because you have personal information. So you have to guard it. You don't want it on a screen on YouTube. So that's kind of just a tip for, I'm hearing later on. Later on, you'll want to make sure you do that. So I don't know what you don't have to do it for a living. It's kind of hard to start doing it for a living right out of the gate, but you're going to practice with everybody, basically you're going to be roping people in, this is what I'm doing. Would you be willing to do this? Can I do this with you, kind of thing? And
I'll be a guinea pig.
Okay, it's more like like psychology too. There's a lot of psychology in it, which most people don't realize either. But it's fascinating because every person is different. We don't come in with the same numbers. We don't come in with the same life lessons, and it helps you kind of hone in on your life lessons a little bit too. So that's what they're suggesting, and they're saying that's where the joy is going to be found in your journey. but it's your own personal joy they want you to work on.
I
You've got
love that.
kind of got the community joy. You kind of got that kind of, mastered is what I want to say. Even though I don't think you think that, but they're saying yes, you do. So they're contradicting you, but that's what I'm getting. So I would suggest checking into that. And that was really, you kind of got sidetracked in that lifetime where you were keeping the books, is what I'm hearing. So,
She says she loves that. She's been looking for something to study. And is there a book that you would recommend?
oh my God. I have so many books. I'm trying to figure which
All the
one.
books. All the books, Jen. All the
There's
books.
been one in every book, probably, because there's little bits of information that are presented differently, or there's a little bit of a different way to calculate the numbers too. There's more than one method. So buy yourself a basic book. There's one by Ellen Dodge, is a very old book. I'm not, I think it's still in print, but yeah, buy Ellen Dodge's book. That's a fairly simple book to start with. It's not simple enough for that. I don't know if you have a library where you are. You could also check in the library. That way you don't have to buy the books. You can look, take a few out and check them out and see what you think. But I hope that helps.
Yeah. Thanks for the question, Joyful Journey. That was pretty interesting. And
Thank you.
thanks for being here today. No, thank you, Pixie. This was pretty interesting.
I never know what they're going to. I never know.
I know.
Never boring. Never boring.
I mean, best chatters, the greatest questions. Oh, this one's okay. This one. Look at this. A light worker wants to know if they had a past life as a ballet dancer.
Oh, wow. Go ahead, Linda. You have something?
Huh?
Do you want to go first?
I'm still just looking at it and letting stuff. If you've got something, you go.
No, it's fine. I can wait. I got a little bit.
I got a little bit too, not a lot. I'm seeing 1850s in France in a very ornate, well, I don't know, like with the red velvet seats and the gold everywhere and the curlicues and the this and the that. But the backstage area is like basically a hovel. It's unfinished walls and they're made out of stone and it's cold and damp because who cares if you guys freeze, and cheaper, and you can warm up, by exercising. And it's a very different style of dance than what you see today. No, you can't eat that. If you want to eat paper, here, eat this one. I'm seeing you at a time in your life when you're like maybe 15 or 16, and you have studied. I mean, you were taught dance. So you're not like just coming in off the street. You're part of the chorus. The not a chorus like singing, but a chorus dancing. A chorus girl. No, I don't mean that way. Because this is the beginning of what we consider like classical ballet. This is the beginning with the choreography and all the rest of that kind of stuff. This is the foundations of what ballet turned into. I see you, and of course you're not paid. You're just part of the chorus, so you're not paid very well. So you're very hungry most of the time, and you live in like a garret, like every starving artist ever. Okay. in that particular lifetime, just as you're getting promoted out of the chorus and into doing smaller roles, you develop tuberculosis as a result, partly of obviously it's infectious, though it comes from people around you, but you don't have a lot of ability to resist it because you've had poor nutrition for the last, 3 or 4 years. You live in a cold and drafty place, and you work in a cold and drafty place. And just as you start getting the roles and being recognized, poof, you're gone. I don't see another lifetime as a ballet dancer, though. You really loved it. You really, really loved it. And you didn't care that you were hungry and cold. This was your dream. You'd been dreaming about this since you were a small girl. Your family is heartbroken, of course, because no good can come of it if you go to Paris. Although, no, they were from Paris. They didn't mean going to Paris, but going to do this. No good can come of it. And yeah. You got to do what you love the best. Yeah. Yeah, the ensemble. Yeah, that's it. That's the word I was looking for. Thanks, Rossi. You go, Pixie, if you've got anything.
Wow. Okay. I see one lifetime with a club foot where you wanted to dance, but you weren't able to. Yeah. And I see another one where you started to dance, and you had an accident on a horse, which paralyzed you from the waist down. This is a big issue. It made you.
Yeah.
It made you afraid to try new things especially that you might love. Like you look at something and see something and think, man, I'd love to do that. And those wounds have come forward and they're preventing you from, what I see is like a flower that opens up and you kind of go, well, I don't want to do that. And then I can't do it. Like I started and I can't finish it. And it gave you so much joy. You felt like I want to say you felt like a bird when you danced in the lifetime Linda's talking about.
Yeah. For you, it was like flying. Yeah.
Yeah. And, but boy, this is a huge, huge lesson. It's carried over 3 lifetimes now. It's like you're afraid something is going to snatch what you love to do away from you. So you have stunted your life. And that is the lesson you need to learn in this lifetime, is that they actually had in those lifetimes where you couldn't dance, at not the one Linda's talking about, but the other 2. They had things where they gave you something else that you were extremely talented with. But it just closed you down so much as a person. It made you live in fear. And that was the lesson you were supposed to learn, to overcome the fear of living like that. The lifetime you had the club foot, I see you sitting in the theater. You became a patron of the ballet. Because I see with one of those firm muffs over your hand. And I see you in a very big theater. But you became a patron of the ballet in that lifetime because you couldn't dance. It's not that you stopped loving it, but you just couldn't dance. But you definitely were very involved with it as a patron. And then the lifetime with the horse, I had a lifetime too where I was paralyzed from the waist down. Same thing, horse. And because you're female, what happens too is your life, what's the word I'm looking for? You lose you already lost some independence, but you lose all of your independence because you are treated like a baby. Like they're terrified that something else is going to happen to you. It's just unfortunately fed into the fear you already had, because that just enhanced it even more. Like, you know, I
Yeah.
would, I'll give you an example. In that lifetime, I like to play the piano, and they didn't, my parents didn't want me to play because they were afraid I would fall off the piano bench, believe it or not, and do something else. But I found a way to play because I had to use my feet, and I found a different way of using my body so I could hit the. I had my uncle help me, and we developed something where I could hit the pad. I can't think of the word because I'm in another. I'm looking at a different vision, but anyway, I could play, and he would let me. He was kind of my. If anything happened to my parents, he would have been my. I forget what that's called. Oh, because I'm in your lifetime and mine. But anyway, he would have looked after me, and he let me do whatever I want. So if I wanted to sit up and paint, I could do that. If I wanted to play the piano, I could do that. If my parents were home, no. So it just basically, it snuffs out your light. And so that's what this lifetime is meant for. They want you to try anything you feel like trying that looks like you're going to enjoy it. They don't want you to hold back. That's a fear that you need to overcome. Question. You can get some help from, this is a caveat. You can get some help from a hypnotherapist, but you've got to be very careful about who you choose to do that, because they need to be very well trained and they need to know what they're doing. That is one option, but they want you to write. They want you to write, and they're going to channel something to you. I don't know if you currently do anything like that, but I see you writing. I see them talking to you, and it's so that you can get it out, because you're still holding that. Those traumas are still held in this lifetime. This lifetime is to overcome that, to overcome the fear. There's not going to be another issue like you had in the other lifetimes that's going to prevent you from doing what you want to do. So they're saying go for it. Just go for it. Because it's not going to turn out the way you think it will. Not in the slightest sense, is what I'm hearing. They're right there. I see three guides. Two of them are on either side of you, and they're like holding your arm, on either side.
I love that.
So don't be afraid. If you see something that you would like to try, they're saying go for it. This is the lifetime they want you to go for it. And they'll help you with that, the trauma. Right. I'm hearing right. I can see somebody standing like right kind of behind you, and then you'll hear it. And this is my right ear. So it'd be your right ear. I'm probably opposite to you on the screen, but it's going to be your right ear that you'll hear it in. And you don't have to meditate forever. You're just going to sit down. Just find something that's very relaxing. I'm hearing play some music, because the music is connected to those lifetimes. You like classical music? Because I'm hearing classical music. It's going to open up that lifetime. See that? I almost see like, your chest opens up, and I see gray comes. To me, that represents grief is coming out, and you're getting rid of it. You're going to feel a lot lighter. I'm getting to once you do that. So I hope that helps a lot.
That's an awesome reading, Pixie. Thank you so much. And
You're
thank
welcome.
you, Lightworker, because that was a
Wonderful question.
wonderful
That led
question.
to a wonderful place. You just never
Yeah.
know. Our guides are gonna take us. They really do work miracles in a lot of respects, to us
Yeah.
anyway.
Well, it sure looks like it from our point of view. There's still 5 people. Diane, she's next. Heavenly Blessed Honey, V. Doyle, Melinda, and Nivra. And so your questions will all be answered. We're here for the duration.
Mhm.
And thanks for your patience and thanks for being here, everybody.
Wonderful. Thank you, because it gives us something to work on. And it's wonderful if we can help somebody at the same time. I mean, what a blessing.
Hi, Shruti. Welcome. I don't remember seeing you here before. Welcome to our little community. What's going on here is Akashic Records readings, but the questions are closed for the day for this show. Diane G. Are there karmic debts I am clearing in this lifetime? Okay, so I don't really hold with this karmic debt thing. I think that karma is just the consequences of your actions. It's not like really a debt that you bring. There are lessons that you have to learn, like we just heard about light workers' lessons from previous lifetimes, that overcoming fear. But so I'm going to choose, because I can do that, because like I'm the reader. I'm going to choose to interpret that as, are there lessons? What lessons are you learning in this lifetime? What lessons do you have for this lifetime? Because looking at karma as a capitalist, debits and credits, yeah, that's not a real useful way to look at it. Okay. Corporate team meeting. Oh, that's hilarious, because this is like way more fun than any corporate meeting I was ever in, let me tell you. Well, for one thing, I have my bird. For another, I can drink water. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That was very funny.
Do you want to ask?
I don't know how do you feel about the whole thing of karmic debt, Pixie?
Well, I'll give you an example of a lifetime where, let's see, it was during the Vikings, and person was the head of their tribe, clan. And, they went away a lot because they went on, warring and yeah.
They went raiding. They went a Viking.
Right. And, they lived in a communal hut. And so some of the women went, but not a lot of them, because there were children to take care of and food to prepare and all that other good stuff. But the men would go out and then they come back. Well, this person came back and his brother had killed his entire family, women, children, everybody, because he wanted to be the leader of the clan. So he thought, I'll just do away. And then when that person comes back, I'll kill that person too. And then I'm good to go. Right. So that's a lust for power and money and, all the women you could want and all that good stuff. So what the person did that came back was they exiled their brother because they didn't want to kill him. They wanted to exile him, but he was not allowed to take his family with him. So his wife and children had to stay, but he was exiled and he just would not quit. So finally, the brother ended up having to kill his brother because he just couldn't get him. He just wouldn't stop. He didn't give him any choice because he hurt some other people too. So then you come back in another lifetime, and then it's where it's this kind of the same dynamic, but it's a different family situation. So the head of the clan comes back as the oldest born, and then the next born is the brother that they killed in a previous lifetime. So, but the struggle is still going on with those two, because now we're talking current day. It still was going on, and the one person didn't want to engage in it, but they were the oldest of the siblings, so they were made to take care of kind of the same role, but a little different. You know, it's not like you were carrying around a sword, a broadsword, or anything. But I mean, it's the same thing, just a little bit different, right? And you know, the oldest didn't really. They didn't want the responsibility. Number one, they didn't want to. They didn't see themselves as being in charge. They felt like their parent was in charge of them. You know what I mean? So, but that's how that comes back. You play it out again, but it's not exactly in the same way. But the lesson wasn't learned the first time. So you come back again, same players, you know, same souls, different bodies, different circumstances, and then you try and work it out. And sometimes you can, and there is a way to. There's a procedure where you can tell the person, you know, I love you. I tried everything I possibly could to make it work. You know, we just couldn't make it work in this lifetime, because you have to have forgiveness. You have to be able, no matter what that person has done, you have to be able to forgive that person. That's part of the deal. That's part of the lesson. And it's very difficult to forgive somebody that's caused you a tremendous amount of harm. That's an extremely difficult thing to do. It's a big challenge. But if you
Yeah.
do, you're freeing yourself, you're freeing the person that you're forgiving. And you know, and if it's family, you're working, anything you heal in this lifetime goes 13 generations ahead of you and 13 generations behind you. So if anybody was a little bit, I don't know if I want to do this or not, you might want to think about that, because it's not
Yeah.
always pleasant, but it has a huge, huge effect. I don't know if that helps, but that's how I see it. And there are also other lessons, because there are also other players within a family, right? There are other family members. So
Yeah.
they've set up different lessons. There's different lessons with your parents. Those are different. You know, the parent to parent relationship, the parent to child, and every child is different. So there's a lot that it's really very complicated if you start looking at it, and you start looking at friends, and you start looking at bosses or teachers or coworkers. I mean, it's not just your immediate family you're working things out with. It just isn't. It's a lot more complicated than that. So I don't know if that helps explain to you what that is, but that's really what they mean.
Diane says so it's a role reversal. Well, sort of, kinda. And she also said she's a life path 7 or 1-6. She heard it's a karmic debt number and didn't understand what it means completely.
It's really hard for me to tell you in detail without looking at your chart a little more deeply, because there's a lot of other numbers involved in that. And then you know, it depends on what description of your life path you read too. For me, when I use numerology, I'm not just using the numbers. I do use my psychic ability. It does come into play. So I might not exactly agree with what a book that I learned from taught me. It's kind of an individual thing in some ways. And there are different ways of calculating the numbers, like the 16-7 that you're talking about, how you can break it down. But then it's going to depend, you know, then it's like your life path, and there's your desire, there's your soul number. There's a lot of different numbers involved. A lot more. It takes quite a while to do a numerology chart in full for a person. And they'll know from this age to this age what I'm looking at. From the next step up, there's 3 or 4 steps up, because it depends on, it's calculated on your age. So your age makes a difference too. But you can calculate numbers on your house. I can change the numbers on your house to make them more beneficial. I mean, there's lots of things you can do with numerology. It's not just, you know, the simple thing that you see online where you just get your life path number and they tell you what it means. I don't know if that helps. Life path 7 is usually a spiritual number. And you
Well,
just,
I don't know anything about numerology, so I'm just listening to the lesson.
so
Um,
she asked about karma, right?
yeah,
Did Diana
yeah,
G use the life path 7?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So she's working
So
on belief system.
belief system. Ah, well, that's interesting. Okay. So,
I feel like there's a bit of a struggle in trying to figure out how it works. Like she kind of goes, you know, she's very skeptical too. So she's kind of working around that skepticism, trying to figure things out a little, you know, and then she's not, and I feel like this is probably more psychic. Not, that's one of the things is patience.
Yeah.
Patience.
Yeah. Diane says that helps. I'm glad it helps, Diane, because uh yeah, that's a big question. That's a big question.
Mhm. Because you
Um,
have karma too from that lifetime, not just the person that you might have ended up working out things again in this lifetime. You know, you have your karma, they have their karma. You're bringing forward the lessons maybe that you didn't learn, obviously, because you don't need to repeat the ones you've already learned. You're
yeah.
trying to, you know, you're trying to figure out how to make that work. And sometimes it takes more than one lifetime. Depends on how big an issue it is. Because the issues can be pretty big sometimes. And I think that's one of the things that's hardest to, you know, when people think that forgiving is just about you, but
It's
or
also
that you're forgiving the other person, they did something horrible, but really it's freeing yourself. You're not forgetting necessarily or forgiving what they did, but you're freeing yourself from the energetic tie that you have with that person because you're holding all that angst and grief and anger.
yeah.
That's what gets discharged, let's
Yeah.
say.
That's what you let go of when you can forgive, and it's very freeing.
And
Very
it's
freeing.
wonderful for you. It's a gift to you. It's a gift to yourself. Everybody looks at it like it's a gift for the other person. It's really a gift
It's
for
not. Yeah. Yeah, and it doesn't mean that you're okay with what they did either,
no, no.
or that you accept it. You don't even have to accept it.
Mm-mm.
It just means that you've let go of your attachment to it.
Because you're forming an etheric cord. The
Yeah.
emotions, you're
Yeah.
still tied to that person, whether you realize it or not. So you're freeing yourself,
Yeah.
and you're freeing them, but you're freeing yourself.
Ah.
That does
So
answer her question.
she said it helps. I haven't seen anything. She says she's trying to figure things out. Yeah. She says, yes, Pixie, I'm trying to figure things out.
Sit in silence is what I'm hearing. Because not all the information or the answers that you seek are going to be on a concrete piece of paper, is what I'm hearing.
Ooh, some of it you have to dig into yourself to find. Yeah.
Like buried treasure. It
Yeah.
doesn't feel like it at the time, but you know, once
Yeah.
you're, yes, because you're freeing yourself or you're learning a lesson too.
Yeah. So next we have Sonia, Heavenly Blessed Honey, with message with the question, did I live in Ohio before? And if so, when and where?
1940s. Don't
Oh,
wait.
geez, I'm getting 1840s. Okay.
Let me think. Hold on. Let me ask what's going on.
You
Why
go
we're
ahead. You go ahead because there may have been.
they're 100 years apart, so there's something important about that area.
Yeah. There,
It's I've been working on the railroad all the live long day. So that was your profession. Um, you like Ohio. Why does she like it so much? Let's see. Because you're a male in that lifetime.
well, it's always nice being a male.
It's heavy work. It's dangerous work and it's heavy work. Much heavier than most people realize at the time. But dangerous. But good, you know, steady work. Pay was good. Um, Kind of hard to have a family. He loves the water. A lot of those tracks that he worked on run along the lakes. He just absolutely was entranced with the Great Lakes, is what I'm getting. It was his solace When he had alone time, that's what he would do, is he'd go down to the water and walk. Oh, you had an ability during that lifetime to communicate with animals. Small, large, medium, didn't matter. You could actually talk to them, they could hear you. And you could actually understand them. You used to bring your part of your lunch. Your lunches were dedicated actually to feeding anything you found along the rails. And if you felt like there was a great need, you'd kind of stock up the next time and bring more food with you and hope they were that, the animals, you would call them ahead of time. That's what I'm hearing. You called them ahead of time and say, you tell them then, I'll be back. I need to bring more food. I'll bring more food. And then you would come back and they would meet you at, there were specified stops along the railroad tracks, and you would feed them. And you were, oh wow, I can see you sitting on the ground cross-legged, and you got all these, like, you got chipmunks, you got squirrels, you got all kinds of little animals around you, and they're not fighting, you're not trying to eat each other, because you've got cats and dogs and all kinds of, and you look like Dr. Doolittle. That's what it reminds me of, Dr. Doolittle. You loved that lifetime. It was a bit lonely because you couldn't really, trying to establish a regular type of family, quote unquote, wouldn't work. And you did have a significant other, but you guys weren't married because of the lifestyles you both led. But whenever you were there, you would always get together. I don't feel like you were lonely, and I think it was the animals that kept you from being super lonely. But it's a fascinating picture to see you sitting cross-legged with all these animals all around you. But yeah, that's the lifetime I'm getting. It was that was the only drawback, was you couldn't have a family, and you wanted to have a family, but it wouldn't be fair to the person you married because you traveled so much to leave them behind with a child, and you wanted to be able to be there to protect them. That's what I'm getting, because you did see you did see some things that weren't that great along the railroad tracks, kind of thing, and in some of the yards. But that was your gift. That's what they kind of gave you so that you wouldn't be all by yourself. I hope that helps. It's a fascinating life.
And I see a life in the 1840s with a land grant, like a homestead grant.
Mhm.
I don't know where exactly, because it's like wide open area. So the closest town is like a morning's drive away by horse and buggy. Okay. So 10 miles, 8 miles, something like that. And really the only thing that town has is like a saloon, a hotel, like a hotel saloon, and a post office. And I don't think there's even a bank there. There is a country schoolhouse. Anyway, you are there breaking the land, breaking the sod with a pair of oxen and a plow. You've built a sod house for yourself. You have a wife, but she's back east. I don't know where. Boston? Anyway, you've come out to build a place for her to come to next year, and then you'll work on it together. But for now, I believe there's a baby too. I believe that's why. Yeah, there's a small baby, like less than a year old, and that's why you went by yourself. So she didn't have to. So she So she would have a home to come to when she arrives. You've built yourself a sod hut. Those were very comfortable, by the way. Like, it's not like they were warm in the winter. I mean, there's a certain amount of wildlife in there, but warm in the winter and cool in the summer, and perfectly livable. I mean, that's how my grandparents, when they arrived in Canada, that's what they had, was a sod house for the first couple of years. Um, um, and you basically just work like a dog from the rising to the setting of the sun, and even after the sunset, because I see you sitting by the fire in the hut, in the sod house, mending harness, and you're working 7 days a week. Occasionally you went to church. You felt guilty about not going to church, but there was just too much to do, and you had to break so much sod so that you could plant a crop next year. You could have a crop to plant because you weren't going to have a crop this year. You were hoping to get some winter wheat in to get enough broken sod, enough field ready by September, October, that you could plant some winter wheat. And maybe be able to harvest in like June. But yeah, so you're massive, okay? You have shoulders like a freaking bull, which you would have to be able to do that kind of work. But that's not what you looked like when you got there.
Mm-mm.
Meanwhile, there is back in Boston, there is diphtheria, cholera, their baby dies. Wife is very sick, but survives. And you feel really guilty about that. You get a letter at the post office. You get letters from her frequently. You write back and forth to each other. And and that's how you hear about your little boy dying and your wife's illness. She does join you. I'm just trying to get them to fast forward this, okay? She does join you the following year, and the two of you build the house together. And it's not much more than a shack, but it's not a sod house. So you think you've come up in the world. It's just that it's colder in the winter and a lot hotter in the summer than the sod house was. Because I think people use things like straw and stuff for insulation. I don't think anyway. More babies come. You have a thriving farm. 15 years down the road, your farm is thriving. You have more children. They're helping around the farm. I mean, it was a hard life, but it was a good life. Like, there was joy in it for you. There was joy and a great deal of satisfaction and a huge sense of accomplishment for you in that life. But I don't know where. I hope that helps, Sonia. That's an interesting question. Thanks, Pixie. And good night, Carl. Yes, and it's time you looked after yourself and have some sleep. Yeah. I'll just quote both Jane and Lilia. Go look after yourself. Thanks for your question, Sonia. I'm still not fully here. Sorry. I just really resonate with that because that's the kind of life that my grandparents had when they came to Canada and um, broke sod on their land in Manitoba. So next we have V. Doyle. Whoops, wrong way. St. Clairsville. I don't know. I couldn't tell you if I don't have any idea because they weren't showing me any names. Just like the general geography. It's very pretty country. I mean, if you're a farmer, it's very pretty country because nice rolling, flattish rolling land. With yeah, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it was around there. Um, yeah. What was my first?
No, she could use a pendulum on a map, but she probably would sense it.
Yeah, you'd feel it. You would feel some real deep satisfaction walking around that area or driving around that area. You'd feel yes, But yeah, you can find a pendulum and ask. Erin says often she'll tend to the garden till dark and not want to come back inside. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a form of meditation.
Yeah, absolutely. And really, really nice connection to, Annie Bear's here. Hi, Annie Bear. I'm just about to say gardening is a really nice way to connect with Earth, with Mother Earth, with Gaia. So, what was my first life like? V. Doyle wants to know. And is there a lesson for life they need you to know for today? Well, your whole life is a lesson. And your first life, I don't know, you want to hear about 40,000 years ago?
It's not going to be very exciting, but okay.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty much, eating and hunting animals. Hi, Moira.
Running.
Yeah, running. A lot of running and a lot of huck and spears. Sorry, I just shouldn't be so irreverent. But that's me. That's the one thing I miss about living in an apartment is not having a garden because I love gardening. Me too. I love gardening.
Is there a lesson for life you need to know for today? Well, might be working on you're not going to just have one lesson. There'll be different lessons, some bigger than others.
Yeah, it's never just one lesson, is it? It's always a whole bunch of different ones.
Interesting. The minute I closed my eyes, I heard, be patient.
She also says, I'd like to know if you get a name.
Is this V. Doyle?
Yeah.
Okay.
V. Doyle says she says, I'd like to know if you get a name.
Myra.
Wow, good for you. I never get names.
Somebody's jumping up and down, going, it's me, Myra. It's me, Myra. Like they're super excited. Hold on a second. Oh, I love you. I miss you. And she's right. You need to have patience. So this is coming to you.
Patience is today's lesson, boys and girls. Deep
Not
breath.
everything moves as fast as we want it to or in our time. But patience pays off, is what I'm hearing. Tell him he wouldn't believe how long I've been patient. Or who is him? Who am I talking to? Man, I'm getting a guy. Is V. Doyle male or female?
Don't know.
let's ask, because there's something else coming through.
Dee Doyle, can you let us know your gender, please?
Let me ask her.
If you don't mind. Hi, Jackie. Jackie.
Okay, I think that she was in a lifetime with him as a male.
She's female now.
She was male then.
Okay.
Because I was like, okay, wait, I was like, whoa, wait a minute, where did that come from? I loved you more than life itself, but you were not patient. You were very impatient. Oh, okay. In that lifetime, it was a lesson to learn to control your temper. You can't force things to happen in your time, in your way. That is your lesson. And it is now being repeated. You aren't as angry and impatient as you were in that life. You've had a couple of other lifetimes to work on it, is what I'm hearing from this person. I'm hearing, go within and I'll meet you there. Wow, I haven't gotten this before. Hold on a second. I'm hearing twin soul. Twin soul is what I heard them say. You chose to remain on the other side. I'm here to help. That's why I want you to go within. This person has been assigned to you to work on that specific issue, is what I'm hearing.
Wow.
That's why they were so excited, because they've been trying to get your attention and they haven't been able to get through. It's a really long-standing soul connection. I'm going, and she's waving. She goes, "See you there." She skips off. So that's her message to you is, go inside, because she wants to talk to you. That's her job, her assignment, basically, in your lifetime. She's still on the other side, is to help you work on that issue. It's going to have I'm seeing dominoes. So it's going to have a domino effect. The better you get at controlling and directing your emotion, the dominoes are going to fall into place. Hope that helps.
And my earlier statement about your first life being mostly like running and chasing deer and game and catching rabbits and so on stands. You were a male in that lifetime, living in a small community of like maybe 10 or 15 other people. There are many small communities scattered across the landscape, like maybe a day's walk from each other. And sometimes you'd get together 2 or 3 villages, or whatever you want to call them, tribes, would get together and go hunt like something really big. This is Europe. This is not North America. So I'm guessing it looks like a bison. The animal I'm seeing looks like a bison, but it isn't. It's something else. It's I don't know, an aurochs. And this is literally like wearing skins and chucking spears, times. So flint knives and I don't. I see bags, leather bags, being sewed together. I don't see anything made out of. I don't see anything made out of ceramics. So there's no ceramics yet. And you do a little bit of following the herds, kind of. Like in the summertime, you go to summer or fall. Yeah, summer or fall. You and a bunch of other people, a bunch of other little villages go to this river where there's lots of fish at that time of year, and you catch fish and dry them in the sun. And then bring them back, and that's to eat over the winter. But it's about a day's about a day and a half's journey away, but people often go there just to fish on their own, like outside the big runs. They might be salmon, I don't know. And you gather nuts and berries. I mean, it's a prehistoric life. It's a Neolithic kind of life. It's not all that complicated. It's about survival. So Erin O'Nugent says she wishes she could make Jackie, not us, some baklava.
That's okay.
Me too. I wish you could too. Wow. I hope that was well, at least entertaining, but information and good information for you, V. Doyle. I hope that helped. Sorry, I'm not staying on top of it the way I should. Sorry.
It's hard to do both, Linda. Let's face it.
Oh, okay. So okay. So the next person in the queue is Melinda. She wants to know of a past life. Any past life, so we can pick and choose? Okay.
I'm going to let you go first. I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll be right back.
Yeah, okay. Do you want to get me some water while you're up? Sorry, I need some water. Just give me a second. Again, Linda, I'm being shown a selection of lives to pick from. So I'm just going to pick that one. Tell me about that one. Okay, so this is interesting. This is Egypt or the Middle East. Judging by people's hair and skin color and the clothes that they're wearing, it could be the Middle East. It's equally likely to be Egypt, but I don't see any pyramids in the background. So usually when it's about Egypt, they'll show me pyramids so I know where it is. So not Egypt, probably not Egypt. I see a little house in a small village. It's a very happy home. You're the mother of the family. Your husband is a farmer working in fields. So maybe it is Egypt. Or maybe not. Who knows? Whatever. This is a long time ago. This is they have ceramics, because I see jars with stuff in them, storage like grain and oil and stuff in them. In a back room, there's a specific storage room in the house for all of the jars. The You have 4 children, and it's a happy family. When you were a child, there was a war that went through your region, and your parents were both killed, so you were taken in by somebody else in the village and raised by them, and they took very good care of you. And then you married this farmer when you were, I don't know, 14 or 15, and at the time I'm seeing you is about 10 years later. So you're in your mid-20s, maybe 25, 6, 7, something like that. And there's 4 kids. There's 3. I see 3 girls and a boy. And I believe you're carrying another baby. You're not hungry. Like this family, your family is doing. You're not wealthy by any stretch of the imagination, but your oldest girl likes to go to the river and fish. No, is it a river or is it? There's a lake nearby. It's not a river. I mean, there's a river coming in one end of it and another river coming out the other end of it, but it's a lake, okay? She likes going to the lake to fish, and she's been begging to get a boat so she can catch more fish. She's about 10, maybe 11, but she's not in this time and in this place. She's not too young to be doing that. Lots of kids are out fishing, because you can sell the fish and you can eat the fish. So that's a good thing that they're fishing. And so that's the next thing that's what your family, the next project your family is working on together, is to get what you need to build a boat. And then go to the boat builder and have them build a boat for your daughter so that she can fish. Your son is the youngest child. The 4th child is like still kind of a toddler, like maybe 3, and basically just sort of gets underfoot. It isn't really learning to do anything yet. But in the next year or so, you've talked about this with your husband. In the next year or so, he's going to start learning how to use different tools. Okay. It's a good life. It's a satisfying life. One of your children is scarred from measles, not smallpox, but maybe chickenpox. The other kids had it, but they didn't have it as badly as this one, I guess, because this little girl, she looks to be about 8, maybe 7 or 8, and she's got pox on her face and her arms and her chest. She's very quiet, and she's a big help to you. She likes to be with you when you're cooking and help you cook and bake. Now I've got baklava on my mind. There's nothing remarkable. Like, I mean, it's an ordinary life lived by ordinary people who love each other and support each other and cherish each other in an ordinary way. It's really lovely. It's a little jewel, you know. It's really lovely. Yeah, there's a lot of joy in that house. A lot of love and joy in that house. Yeah, yeah, that's what I've got for you, Melinda. Your name. Oh, I don't get names. They laugh at me when I say names. I seriously, they laugh at me when I say, "Can I have a name?" They go, "Ah ha 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 ha," and that's the end of it. You couldn't say my name anyway, so yeah, no, I never get names. Sorry. Maybe Pixie will, because she's way better at that than I am.
I'm in a different lifetime. Um, the first thing I saw was a piano, and then I saw somebody put their foot on top of like a chair in a bar. But it's you were a woman because you just it was kind of a rough and tumble place. You left there because the town kind of changed a little bit. They got what I'm hearing is they got a guy who thought he was all that in a bag of chips. Basically owned a lot of land. He had cattle, and the tone changed because during that time they almost became like kings of their own fiefdom, depending on how much money they had, how much property they had, how many men they could hire with what rifles. Um, I see you getting on a stagecoach. Um, you know how to shoot a gun because you have a small weapon tucked away. Uh, I saw you go to San Francisco. Um, so you got into the theater district again because that's basically what you wanted to do. You don't really want to be working in a kitchen or doing something else. That yeah, that troupe that you felt kind of like you all made friends. You all weren't working at the same place, but you made friends with each other and you all had different talents, but you worked together really well. And what you did was you formed your own act and you started billing yourself. So you were pretty enterprising and you became well known. Um, so what you would do is travel, back out on the stagecoach again. Didn't really want to stay on the stagecoach, but it made you a lot of money because you did get paid for your travel and your room and your board and all that stuff was paid for. Um, and there was like kind of like a route that the performers took because it wasn't, there
A
was like, it was
circuit.
that time when people would, like, yeah, shows would make their way from town to town kind of thing, make the circuit. And then one of you got hurt and there was a decision. Do we, because it was your last stop. So you decided, because you could have signed up for another, circuit, but you decided to go back to San Francisco and kind of all needed a break. You were kind of all like I can see dust on your clothes and you were kind of longing for the life that you knew in San Francisco was more sophisticated because we're talking a nice bath, so you can get somebody to they
Plumbing.
take your clothes and they do your clothes for you, like all of those perks that you would not get as you're making your way around on the circuit on stagecoaches and staying in, hotels. Not that they were horrible, but they were nothing like some of the hotels in San Francisco. So you guys were enjoying that time. You were enjoying the downtime because you were all tired. Because it's not easy work. It's very physical work, and some of the crowds can be drunk and obnoxious, and it wasn't as glamorous as it sounds. Um, oh boy. Okay, hold on. You went back to San Francisco, and you were there for the fire. Because everything was so, it was, oh, wow. Sorry, I'm seeing a movie. Just give me a second.
She wants to know if she sang, danced, or just acted.
You did a little bit of acting. It wasn't really your thing. Sang and danced.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what
Really good dancer. You were what most people nowadays would consider to be brave. You were feisty. You were not afraid. You kind of learned to be that way when you were out west before you came into the San Francisco area and formed the other troop. I'm trying to see what's going on. I'm sorry. There's just, let me see if I can pare it down. There's just a lot going on. Okay. The men that were in your group, they went in with the bucket brigade, excuse me. We lost every one of them. It's just unbelievable. It was, one was trampled by a horse, and the one, building fell over on them. And I mean, there's just so much going on, so much confusion, so much chaos, and people trying to do what they could do. And so because you were women, were told, to go north. So you kind of, there were three of you, you kind of stuck together, and you all survived. But it was, you reworked your performances. They had to be obviously totally different, but you never had the heart to replace the men that you work with. Excuse me. Because you were like your brothers. They were family. But you did is you you consolidated the act. You asked for more money because you especially were more well known. And then you started saving your money because you were getting tired of doing the circuit. And your heart wasn't, it was kind of like you were all brokenhearted because you weren't able to be with those people anymore. So you kind of had set a plan in motion where you could just save enough money and just settle down. You did go back to San Francisco. You went a little bit further north and you bought a home, and all three of you lived together for the rest of your life. So it's kind of like you made your own family, but you lost a big part of it. So I just need a second. But that's what I'm getting.
Melinda says the top of her head is tingling. That's what we call resonance.
Mm-hmm.
You're very welcome, Melinda.
You're welcome. I hope that helps.
You want to take a minute, Pixie?
That wasn't quite as the last one.
That's fine. That's fine. Sometimes these, because we see everything that we're telling you about, we're watching it, we're looking at it, and sometimes it's funner than others. Sometimes it's heartbreaking. So just give us a second here to recompose ourselves. or compose ourselves.
Yeah, because
And
we see what's going on, which
yeah,
was unbelievably chaotic, and then we feel all the emotions. At least I do sometimes. This was hard because I'm working on kind of a group of people. I'm
yeah.
not working on one
I
person.
usually I usually ask them to keep the emotions away from me,
Well, it's
unless
pretty
it
good,
has to
actually. I
affect.
mean, believe me, it's pretty good. I mean,
Yeah, compared to some of the readings we've done before. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
uh-huh. Yep.
Hi,
Yeah.
Nivra. Yeah.
And I can feel the loss, but I'm not like,
Yeah.
it's not, it was just, but the movie was a lot, a lot. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Because they were in those circumstances. I couldn't not look at it. But I don't feel as, wasn't nearly as bad as when I did a week ago. Not even close.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a
So,
very interesting lifetime. It wasn't boring, that's for sure. Never a dull
so
moment.
thank you so much, Pixie. And thank you, Melinda, because that wasn't real. That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, okay, so the last person in the queue is Nivra, but I want to know if you feel up to answering one more question from Shruti.
Sure.
Okay, so Shruti posted their question. We'll do our best, Shruti, but honestly, that's not so much not so much an Akashic Records question, but that's all right. We'll do what we can with it. All right. And so Naivra wants to know, did she have a Persian life, and is there a connection to now? Thank you. Ah, yes, those beautiful Persian men. They're so handsome, and they have other qualities as well. There's pros and cons.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's just put it that way. Ah. Nivra, you have gone all over the world in your lifetimes. I can't think of a single place you haven't been, including Australia. I'm just looking at the sort of tapestry, the geographical tapestry, and I see little dots poking, or not tapestry exactly, but sort of a tapestry.
I
I
heard
see
that
little
song. I'm
dots.
a traveling man. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
traveling man. So she's had more than one lifetime like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. But just overall,
No.
um, her lifetimes have all been in different places around the world. So she's
That's why she's had more than one lifetime like that.
yeah. Yeah. And is there a connection to now? Well, Nivra, you've lived in Australia, okay, at least twice that I can see. And there are places there. I'm being told there are places there that you will recognize, even after all this time.
Ayers Rock. That's what I heard.
Yeah. 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 You will recognize that. It will echo for you deeply. Or
You
maybe
were.
the better word is resonate. Sorry, go ahead.
That's right. She was a man in Persia. Wow. Like getting the turban and the curved sword. Um, all dressed in white.
Getting
Not,
immersed.
not somebody you want to mess with. Just saying. Um, he's kind of our version of a gunslinger. If you know what I mean.
A thug.
Yeah. Tall too. Tall. Um,
A bandit.
he was actually more of a thief, and he was really good at it. Like I see like valuables like gemstones, watches. Oh, okay. He's not just a thief, he's a he can pickpocket too. And you don't want to mess with him, not with that sword. He's really good with it, and it's not pretty. Oh, okay. He's that way because he grew up on the streets. He was an orphan who grew up on the streets. So in order to survive, he learned how to, steal and pickpocket, and that's really, and he was fast, very fast hands, could run really quickly. He made sure he mapped out the entire area that he was going to be in, working, quote unquote, working in, which, was work, had to survive somehow. I mean, I'm not making any judgment, but it's like that's what he did. And then he got, man, okay. He was an assassin too. That came much later in life when he wasn't as quick.
Yeah.
As he used to be.
Yeah.
The interesting part, even though he was a thief, that later part of his life was very difficult. Because when he was a thief, it was things. He wasn't stealing someone's life. He was stealing things. He says there's a big difference, a huge difference.
Yeah.
Oh, he did it once. He couldn't do it again. He almost got killed because he refused a second contract. But they didn't want to mess with him. When it came right down to it, it was, more talk than action. And he basically, I see him moving out of the area that he was in. And it wasn't an easy thing to do because, for the tribes that travel in the desert, it's kind of like you have to be kind of part of their original group, quote unquote. But they saw he was smart, so they wanted him. Oh, okay. So what he actually ended up doing was helping with the horses. They had thoroughbred horses that they kept the lineage on. That was extremely important. So he ended up traveling with them and caring for the horses. So the last portion of his life, and he prayed all the time for forgiveness. I can see him on the pyramid. He actually died of old age.
Wow.
Yeah. Loved working with the horses, loved working with them. He had a talent. Oh, I got goosebumps everywhere. You're talking about a horse whisperer. That's a talent. I don't know if you have any affinity for horses in this lifetime, but that gift has come forward with you. It's weird. It's like the horses would recognize her. That sounds really weird, but that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm hearing.
She says she loves them. She loves horses.
That's why you love them so much. I'm really surprised you don't spend more time with them. Oh, they said they still have wisdom to pass on to you. What I'm hearing. It's beautiful to watch. I love horses, and I was a horse whisperer in a past lifetime, so it's really interesting. Yeah, they're calling to you. I don't know if you feel that at all. Try and spend a little bit of time around them if you can. What a life. That was fascinating. Thank you, Nivra.
Yeah. Thank you, Pixie Dust, and thank you, Nivra. Um, I'm not going to add anything to that. Um, our last question, and this is like for real, the last question
Okay.
is is from Shruti, who begged us to take their question because they're having a really hard time.
Okay.
Um, Shruti says, I met a person 3 or 4 years ago. I found a great level attachment. Should I know is, or I guess they want to know, is he associated with my past or just an attraction? They're totally suffering about this.
Hmm.
There is a past life connection with this individual, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a good one. Okay, just because you have a past life connection doesn't make it. Because sometimes people have hard lessons to teach us, and they cause us a great deal of pain in the process. So that doesn't make it a good thing. It's just a connection.
It's like two ships passing in the night. That's what I'm hearing. Um, not meant to be together in this particular lifetime
Yeah,
because there's someone much better ahead of you, is what I'm hearing. So that's in the future. Oh,
yeah,
okay. So what you need to work on is the hold that that person has on you, because technically your energy is tied to theirs. You're not free.
yeah. Yeah, I'm getting that you need to clear them. You need to free yourself of them. Um, that it's in this lifetime. Maybe in the future it'll be different, but in this lifetime, it's not healthy. It's not good for you. There's better for you.
And
Yeah, there's.
yeah, what I see is I saw a
Go
big
ahead.
sword come down and just cut. It didn't even look like a tie. It looked like a big thick belt um, that was cut through, and it's that spirit helping you cut that tie because you've been struggling with it, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, because their next question is how to cut it. Well,
They
uh,
just did it for you, but they want you to work because I see some more, but they're much like the pull and the tie is not going to be as great as the one that they just cut. So they need you to work on the other ones because you need to know how to do that. They'll help you to do it because that was not healthy for you. It was like I felt like it was draining the life out of you almost. Good Lord, it was awful. Um, that's what that. Not to disparage this person because I know that you know how you feel about them, but they go around collecting people, women, like their trinkets, like a trinket. Like, look how many. It's kind of like that. Look how
yeah,
many trinkets I have. You know, look at me. It's very prideful, very inconsiderate. Um, it is a fault within him. Like he's doing that because he doesn't feel at all like what he's portraying he is. He feels less than um, almost less than I don't know who his parent was, but he feels almost less than human, so undeserving of any kind of. That's why he's so afraid to put his heart out there. Like he can get. I don't want to say that's a. It's the word that's coming to me. He can get samples of love from different people. Okay. And he thinks if he accumulates enough of them, it's almost like an addiction. If you accumulate enough of them, then I'll feel whole inside. That's never going to work. But he does not know that. He's starting to figure it out a little bit. But he won't, I don't see him being with one person. for the rest of his life. He doesn't know how to do it. He's never seen an example of it. It's going to take him quite a bit of work just to love himself. His childhood was pretty difficult. Horrific, actually, is the word I would use, but that's why he's the way he is. That's not healthy for you. So they're wanting you to fill yourself up with love. They want you to cut the tie to that, the longing and the tie to that person. They can't bring new energy in until you let go of the old, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, Shruti, we're just going to answer the one question for you, okay? Because we're both exhausted, and we've been on for nearly 3 hours.
Oh God, it's been that long. See, that's when I say you don't know what time it is half the time.
Yeah. So it's been 2 hours 50. So we're going to.
I want to be India's prime minister. Why don't we? Linda does a show. Tuesdays, is it?
Yeah, Akashic Adventures on Tuesdays with Tuesday afternoons.
Diana and
with Diana and Yanni, 2:00 Pacific, 5:00 Eastern time. And yeah, we have broken our record. I don't think we've never gone this long.
We've never gone that far, and I had no idea it was that long.
And I'm just I'm going to have a nap.
Well, you've had a lot going on this week too.
You've had a lot going on too. I mean, it's not like I'm the only one. So there were a few questions asking about Wanda. Here she is. She has neurological issues, and I'm going back to the vet. She spent overnight at a specialty avian veterinary hospital in Vancouver, and no, it's okay, Shruti, don't worry about it. And has medication that she has to take, and she's feeling a lot better now than she was, but she will always have some level of disability. I'm modifying her cage. I've got new perches in there, and I'm going to raise her floor and or make her a new floor that's higher up, and just all kinds of stuff like that. But she's feeling better. Her energy is much better.
I want everybody to send, green light to Wanda. And light for love.
Yeah, and say prayers for her.
Send her because she will feel the energy, because she does not like going in those places. I don't think any animal really loves going to the vet. Just saying, poor vets. I feel sorry for them. I mean, some dogs might be okay with it, and some cats.
I know a dog who drags his
like the vet. He probably likes the vet.
He gets treats. He gets the vet techs going, "Oh, look at it, you little puppy whoops," because he's a very sweet dog. And so he, on walks, he will drag his daddy to the vet. It's very funny. But anyway, I'm going to.
Thanks everybody for being here, because it's without the questions, we need
fabulous
to work on.
Yet again, you never disappoint ever. And not just because of the questions, but because you're such a fabulous bunch of people. Really lovely to
they care for each other too. That's really nice to see.
Huh?
They care for each other, which is nice.
Yeah, it makes me really happy to see the level of attention and caring that people give each other, because that's the whole point, right?
Yep.
And yes, Mirella, thank you everybody so much. I'm going to
hang in there, because I don't think either one of us knew how long we've been on. I know I didn't.
No, I was coming to the end, and I looked at the time and I went, holy moly. Okay. So I'm going to say the closing prayer now. I would like to close by thanking the light for the truth. I would like to close by thanking the light for the healing energy. And I would like to close by thanking the light for the guidance and compassion towards our soul's purpose. And with this, we lock the records of this group. The records are now closed.
Thank you.
Wow. Thank you all so much, everybody. And I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Oh, wait, I have a special thingy. Oh, I forgot about that. I can do this.
You're closing. Yeah.
Watch this.